Hey, what's up, guys? My name is James. This is the Sports Betting Education channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer and a loyal subscriber, shout out to you guys. I appreciate it so much. We are approaching 400 subscribers here, which is, I'm happy with it. But my vision, my long-term vision for the channel and for the Instagram page and for the sports betting education as a whole is much larger. So hopefully a lot of you guys are watching this deep into the future and it's just generating a ton of views. That's the goal for this video. In this video, I want to talk about my personal journey and my path towards betting on sports for a living. And I really want to shed light on the reality of betting on sports for a living and why it is so hard to do. And just kind of talk about that it is so hard to do because a lot of people are getting into sports betting and they're opening their minds to it now. Sports betting's been here for decades. I've been betting on sports since I was really young. And obviously, it's not even legal now in Texas, but it's never been legal in most of the United States. Now it's becoming legal, and it's truly off topic here, but it's truly fascinating how you can take something, whether it's weed or alcohol or sports betting, and when it's illegal, people act like it's Satan. Satan himself came from the depths of hell, and it's the worst thing ever. And then as soon as it's legal, they open their minds to it. But a lot of people are opening their minds to sports betting, and what happens is, gosh, distracting. What happens is they go on Instagram, they see these people flexing, they see people in $250,000 cars and in mansions and living these lifestyles that are so desirable, and they think that they can get rich overnight. They think it's easy. Some of these people flexing actually have a ton of money because they're making a ton of money selling picks. There's a difference between making a ton of money selling picks and a ton of money betting on games. What I'm talking about in this video is making a living betting on games. And then another thing to be aware of is it's so easy to make yourself look like you're rich on social media when you're actually not, right? So you can Airbnb a mansion for a couple $100s a night, and you can shoot a year's worth of content in it all day and all night in that mansion. You can rent these $250,000 cars for a couple $100 a day. I really am not too familiar with the prices, but they're low enough to where a poor person could produce a ton of content in a luxury vehicle or in a mansion. And then there's fake money on Amazon, motion picture money, where you can get stacks of money for very cheap. The reality is millionaires don't have cash on them. Millionaires don't carry around backpacks full of money. Literally, why would you? You can use a debit card. Everything's electronic now. Millionaires don't carry around bricks of cash. So all these people on social media are doing it, and it crushes me that people fall for it. But if you watch this video, hopefully it'll save you from that. So I'm just going to get into my plan. Right now I'm betting on sports. My bankroll's not nearly large enough to bet on sports for a living. A lot of people will look at my bankroll and say, dude, that's enough. If you're winning, that's enough to bet for a living. The reality is sports betting is much closer to stock market investing as far as the expected rate of return on investment than flipping money overnight. So a lot of people will see, a $10,000 bet, you win $20,000, you just doubled your money overnight. It's not that easy, right? So professional sports bettors have gone on record saying they expect 56, 57 win percentage, and that's massive, guys. That means they're going 57 and 43 over 100 picks. That's a huge edge. Even with the juice, you risk 110 to win 100. Even with the juice, you're able to be profitable with that over large amounts. And if you're betting high volume and the same amount each one, you'll see growth in your bankroll. Now, the way you have to think is, can I get a 1% return on investment every month? If you get 1% every month, so you get 1% in July, and that grows your bankroll from 100,000 to 101,000. Then a 1% in August, and it goes from 101,000 to $102,100. See, the growth it's growing exponentially there, right? So if you see a positive return on investment yearly, monthly, right? So you're gonna have losing months, but yearly, hopefully you can win over the course of a longer period of time. You'll see returns. Now, realistically, say you can get a 25% return in a year, or say you can get a 50% return in a year, right? In order to make a living off of that, say you wanna live off of, I think people that want to bet on sports for a living would want to live off of around 100,000 or more. So say on the low end of that, you want to make $100,000 profit a year. Well, if your return on investment is 20%, that would mean you'd have to have a $500,000 bankroll. So $500,000, guys, that's hard to build up to. My net worth right now is not even $500,000, right? So I have a house and I have cars and I have a bankroll and I have shoe resale going on for me right now. I'm building my net worth up to a point to where I can get $1 million bankroll, and 1% of $1 million is 10,000. So if you get a 1% return every single month, which is so tiny compared to the returns that people flex when they post their tickets and post their numbers on Instagram and all this and that. But the reality is the pros, the people that actually bet on sports for a living in Vegas and stay under the radar, stay incognito, and have people betting for them in the books so that these sports books don't realize who's really betting for them. They actually have runners that run around with backpacks of cash. They'll move the line, they'll call the runner, they'll say, hey, bet at this price, and they'll do all sorts of professional techniques that people online just aren't even mentioning. They're just boasting we're 40-0, we're 50-2, things like that. You got to expect a return on investment that is much smaller than just doubling your money every single week. So my personal goal right now is multiple streams of income. That's my secret. That's my vision. That's what the foundation of this plan is. So right now I have my job, so I make about $5,000 a month. If I had to live off $5,000 a month, I'd go insane. And if I had to live off of that much for my whole life, I couldn't do it. I just have bigger aspirations, bigger dreams, bigger visions. So what I do with that $5,000, I don't spend $1 of it, and I don't save $1 of it. I invest 100% of it. I invest it into places that have the highest return on investment. So I invest into shoes. Reselling shoes and reselling sports cards is like the highest return on investment that you can find in 2019. There might be some more stuff that I'm not as familiar with or not as passionate about, but I love baseball cards and I love shoes. And I love turning a shoe that I pay $40 for into a $150 sell and triple my money right there, boom. And I triple my money over and over and over again. And eventually I'll have millions. Once I have millions of dollars, then I'll look to sports betting. So there's two themes that I want to really drive home in this video. Streams of income. I have my salary, right? $5,000 a month. I have shoes, make another $5,000 a month there. You have baseball cards, maybe you make $5,000 a month there. And then, you can set up multiple streams of income, right? You can sell online courses, right? So I'm working on teaching people how to resell sneakers course. So they'll pay me $250 and I'll teach them how to make $100,000 a year selling shoes. It's a bargain for them. But when I sell the course, making $250, maybe I sell 10 a month or I sell 100 a month. That adds up, right? That's another stream of income. Sports betting, sports consulting, teaching people how to become better sports bettors. A lot of people will burn through $10,000 a year. If they pay $250 for my course, teaching them that, it can, maybe it can't teach them how to make millions overnight because that's not the reality, but maybe it keeps them from losing $10,000 each year. Is that worth $250? It is to me. Some people won't understand that, but some people will see the value in it and they can learn a lot from something like that, right? So multiple streams of income and then passive income. So the reason I like sports betting is because I don't know if I mentioned it or not earlier in the video. I've tried to record this a few times. But sports betting is really the only place where you can turn 10,000 into 20,000 in like 2 hours, right? You can bet on a game. You could bet on a first half line and the money you risk at the beginning, it will turn into a profit or it'll turn into nothing. It's obviously very risky, but you'll see the return so instant. A shoe could take months to do, right? A shoe you have to package up, you have to go buy from the store, all sorts of things, which is fine for me now because I'm going from a net worth of around 100,000 to $1 million. And once I get to a net worth of $1 million or maybe 5 million, we could say, then maybe I say, okay, selling shoes isn't worth it to me. I know how to bet on sports. I know a ton about baseball. I know a ton about finding value betting on baseball and betting on football. Those are really my two big sports. I'm going to take these $5 million and I'm going to start investing it in sports betting. Now from there, say you have 5 million built up. This is my vision now. This is really what I'm planning on doing. Say I'm up to $1 million in a year, just to make it easier math for me to do in my head as I explain this. Say I have 1 million net, or say I have 5 million net worth. Once I get 5 million net worth, I'll put about 1 million into the bankroll. So that's another thing. The percentage of money that you put into your bankroll should be a smaller percentage of your net worth. Probably about 5 to 20% of your net worth. Right now I have about 5% of my net worth, so I have about 5,000 in my bankroll. I'm being completely transparent. This is what I pride myself on. 100% transparency. When I get to 5 million, I'll put about 20% of my net worth into my bankroll, okay? So I have 1 million. Now, if I can get a 1% return, what sports bettors on social media, on YouTube, on Instagram, whatever, which ones shoot for a 1% return? None. They try to tell you that they can get 50%, 100% return on investment, grow your bankroll by 4x your bankroll in one season. That's all BS, man. That's all BS. They're just trying to sell picks. They're trying to convince you to buy picks. They're not trying to teach you the reality of this. They'll suck $1,000 out of you. You'll realize that it didn't work out at the end of the season, and then they'll move on to new people the next season. And it works, and they make a ton of money, but they're not helping people. My number one goal is to help people, and I know if I help people, the rest will take care of itself. My page will grow. I'll make any money that I want to make, but really, I'm fine if I don't make any money off of this because I have a plan. And once I get to the 5 million net worth, 1 million bankroll, 1%, back to 1%. If I make 1% on that $1 million bankroll that month by just risking, 1 to 3% of the bankroll on each bet, then I will see $10,000 each month. So I make $120,000 a year if I successfully do that. Now the reality is I'll have some months where I make 8%, $80,000 in a month made off sports betting. I'll have some months where I lose 5%. I might have a month where I lose 20%, right? You have to mentally have that risk tolerance. If you don't have a good risk tolerance or a high risk tolerance, sports betting might not be for you. If you have risk tolerance where you're not scared of risk at all, sports betting is definitely dangerous for you. It's better to have a high risk, or it's better to have, be a little afraid than be fearless with sports betting. But if you shoot for an average of 1% return each month with $1 million bankroll, that's an average of 10% or $10,000 a month. Now, when you compound that month after month for years, that's when you start seeing the bankroll double. After a few years, bankroll might double. Well, guess what? You just doubled $1 million. You turned it into $2 million in a few years. You do that again, if you really have an edge long term, you can consistently grow it just a little bit at a time, 12% a year, right? You can double that bankroll again. And really 1% a month isn't 12% a year because it compounds. So really it's closer to 14 or 15% returns a year. And if you have an edge, you can do that. I know I have an edge. I just don't have the bankroll yet. I just don't have $1 million bankroll saved up, right? So I have multiple streams of income working for me. The shoe resale, investing in sports cards, things like that will lend higher returns than real estate or the stock market. Real estate and the stock market are great if you want to become, wealthy and you want to become well off. But I'm trying to do something, I'm striving for much more, I guess I should say. So that's kind of my mindset right now. First, I got to go from $100,000 net worth to $1 million net worth. Then I have to get from $1 million to $5 million, right? And then I have a huge bankroll, grow that very gradually. So whenever you have a $2,000 bankroll or a $5,000 bankroll, man, it's not fun. It's not fun to bet $30 and win 25 and things like that. But you just have to have a long-term vision, long-term mindset. So you have to figure out ways to grow that bankroll through maybe working a job and investing your paychecks and building wealth that way, and get to the point where you have a large bankroll. So for me, it's reselling shoes, flipping sports cards, mentorship, online mentorship, teaching people how to become better sports bettors, teaching people how to resell shoes, things like that. And that's how I'm going to build my net worth. Then we start having fun with a giant bankroll. But to think you can double your bankroll consistently over a short period of time, if anyone says that's possible, watch out, man. Watch out, because that's you can double your bankroll overnight, of course, if you go all in on a bet. But the risk there, you're gonna get bit, and you're gonna have some really low lows. So I just wanted to share with you my journey, open up a little bit, let you guys have some insight onto my current situation and where I want to take things, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. So stick around if you're interested in following my journey and watching as I go from the $250,000 house here in Central Texas to moving to Vegas hopefully in the next year or two, and to actively betting every single day, and to getting into that mansion in Vegas where I ultimately want to end up. Hit that subscribe button, follow, because I'm documenting the journey. I have nothing to fear. I am completely transparent. I'm not hiding anything. So I'm completely open to any suggestions. People have requested things. They've requested I adjust things, and I've actually done it, which not too many people do in this space. And I'm very excited to see where this channel goes. I'm very excited to share with you guys my journey, see where I go, and I want to show people how it's done. I want to show people that it's possible to bet on sports for a living, because right now people are pretty sketched out, pretty hesitant, and there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. A lot of people sell the wrong way. I don't want to just sell you the right way, but I want to show you the right way. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found value from it. Please comment below what you guys are thinking of me right now. If you think I'm a complete idiot, if you think it made sense, if the video helped you, let me know either way, positive or negative. I really look forward to hearing y'all's reaction to it. Thank you for watching to the end. I appreciate you so much. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next video.